Welcome to the first ever FIDE online Olympiad for people with disabilities. It's an exciting day ahead of us as we are ready for the finals of the phenomenal event in the history of chess for people with disabilities. Both of us, me, Polina Torochkova, and my amazing colleague Ulrike Vogel, have been involved with FIDE's DS Commission for quite some time.
We're really excited, and I don't think we can quite believe it yet that we are already on the finals. So it's really great to see. Obviously, play started on the 21st of November was the first round. So we are now in a new month, and we are still playing, which is really great to see. And I think it's great because we've had, in the first part, which is obviously a 7-round Swiss system, we had participants from all parts of the world, which is really great to see. And now we've whittled it down to the final 4. And obviously today is the first of the final rounds where we are seeing the first Russian team against the first Polish team, competing obviously for who is going to be the winner and who is going to come second. And Ukraine, the third Ukraine team and the third Polish team are competing for 3rd place. So I think it'll be interesting to see what those last 2 days are going to bring.
And alongside the main battle for gold between Russian team number 1 and Poland team number 1, Ukraine team number 3 and Poland team number 3 will play a match for the 3rd place. And I'd like to keep and acquainting the viewers with our chess players and to share a story about Yermonov Igor, international master playing for Ukrainian team number 3. And today he's playing white against Polish player Pavel Pekelny. And Yermonov Igor, a man who conquered all circumstances and thanks to hard work, unsurpassed willpower, and phenomenal abilities, reached the highest levels of the chess Olympus. Since 2002, Igor has been a participant of the IPCA Individual World Chess Championship and always takes prizes. He is 4 times IPCA World Chess Champion and 4 times IPCA Vice World Chess Champion. In 2002, IPCA chess players were given the opportunity to participate in the World Chess Olympiad as a separate team. Since then, Igor has been a member of the international IPCA team. He took part in the World Chess Olympiads for 8 times. Igor played 73 games at the most prestigious chess competitions in the world, in which there were some more victories than defeats. He is an outstanding chess composer. He has about 250 chess publications in world-famous chess editions throughout 14 countries. In 2011, Igor was awarded the title of the FIDE Master for Chess Compositions. In 2018, at the World Chess Olympiad in Batumi, Georgia, Igor was recognized as the best player according to the TV journalist who covered the events of that Olympiad. In 2019, for the 10th time, he became the champion of Ukraine among IPCA chess players and moreover entered the Ukrainian national team of chess composition among non-disabled players. To make sure that you can follow the action today, have a look on Tornello, where you can keep an eye on the live games, and the direct link is also posted on our Facebook page.
And we'll be back in a moment with our special guest, with one of our special guests today.
And today we are joined by European champion, super talented grandmaster Ernesto Inarkiv. Ernesto, hello.
Hello, Polina.
First of all, thank you very much for taking time off from your busy schedule for us.
Yeah, I'm glad to see chess tournament always.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting to have you on board. And so why don't we get started with some of our questions straight away? So how did you get involved with chess in the first place?
Well, I was, my father teach me how to play when I was 5, and it was, I guess it's quite usual stories. And at this period, kids like to play a lot, every kind of game. And so at 5, I was curious in different games, but at that moment I didn't take too much into chess. But then I was quite lucky because when I already went to school, in my school, there was a chess lesson. It was very unusual for that times. And I started from there. And so starting from 7 years old, I already didn't quit chess. Never, always was in.
And when you were a child, I know your family moved from Kyrgyzstan to Elista by invitation of Ulrike for your further development as a chess player, and has done a lot for your personality development in general. And how do you appreciate the role of parents in the formation of young chess players?
I think it's the key role, parents, not only for chess, I think in general in life, but in chess career, we can see it absolutely directly. So we can see the players who get their results, and they always will be behind them. Someone who made difficult decisions, who helped to develop the chess skills. It is that because the career of chess professional is not really clear. It's not like you go to university and you know after 5 years you will be grandmaster. It's not like that. So it required some creativity from the parents to find a good coach, to decide which tournament the kid should go, and to organize the trainings at home, because when the kid, for example, 9 or 10 years old, he needs help. He cannot train by himself. And for me, it also was very important that to develop as a chess player, I was need to go to move from the place I live. Kyrgyzstan is a very good place to start for the level before the grandmaster, let's say. For example, in my chess school, many players achieved candidate to master level. And I think this is very good for the coach, for the kids, because he know how to make it. And there is many top leading players from Kyrgyzstan is actually from the same chess school where I was trained. Yes, but later, if you want to come in the top 100, for example, it was clear that you need to move to another place. And of course, this was a decision which, without the help of parents, was not impossible to make.
And when did you realize yourself that chess was going to become a big part of your life, and to an extent a matter of life?
I think it was maybe like 10 and 11 years old. It was a very important moment because I moved from just a regular player. I became a master of Kyrgyzstan. And it was already quite clear that I'm growing much quicker than the players who were around me. And that was the first moment when I was really thinking that I can be a chess player. But still, it was absolutely not clear how to become a grandmaster. For example, I met my first grandmaster only when I was 13. So it was not clear to understand what to do next. And when I already absolutely was sure that I will not quit chess, for example, and to go to university, it's only at 16 when I became a grandmaster, and I already understood clearly that this is my profession, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to change it.
And I know that you just came from Russian Team Chess Championship, which has finished only a couple of days ago. What were your emotions about playing games on a board, not on a online format?
It's a lot of emotions, actually. It started, I can tell you, maybe 1 week before the event, because I was watching this new serial, The Queen's Gambit, obviously. And when I saw how the bet started to travel to the live events, I was very sad remembering how it was. But I want to tell that of course this is absolutely special thing to play live chess with live opponents and in the tournament, because in the tournament everybody want to win and you feel this energy, you feel the opponent, you feel his emotions, and this is very nice. And from the chess point of view, it's also a very unusual things, because over the board it seems for me like you have more time than in online chess. And this is very enjoyable, because when you look to the monitor, it feels like it's more or less clear what is happening. But when you sit over the board, there is much more ideas is coming. So this is very unusual, and I think I would never pay attention to such things. But now I can compare and feel really different. So. For example, there is some talks that if it goes for a while, the situation that we cannot play live chess, that maybe, let's say, after 1 year, nobody would want to play live chess because it makes no sense. You can always turn on your device and play chess online, but I believe it's not so, because the feeling of it, seeing your opponent, his hearing his breath, let's say, and also going deeper and deeper when you look over the board, this is a very special thing, and I like it very much.
Yeah, I think Thomas Luther was actually talking about that as well, how sort of over the board standard games sort of tend to, you know, it takes a totally different skill set almost to than when you're playing more rapid games online. But are you playing in any online tournaments, or are you planning on playing in any online tournaments now as well?
No, actually, I decided not to play online because I played one tournament in May. It was a charity event to support the medical workers. And after that, it was my decision. I just decided that I don't want to develop the special skills what required to play online. But of course, I following this top events with Magnus Play, and this is very interesting and exciting.
Ernesto, I know you since Melody of Game project for children with disabilities that I was found, and I saw with my own eyes that you gave simons to children with disabilities, completely unselfish. And I know your unconditional love to chess and children. And this year you established Chess Academy, Shagi Chess. And I have to say that in Russian it means Chess Academy of Grandmaster in Kyiv. And can you please tell us more about it?
Yes, I started this project 1 year before, actually, before this pandemic. We have what I'm really proud of, that we have our online platform. It was built actually not for for compensation for the over the board. The idea of this platform is to connect all our kids, all our coaches, and to unify the system of chess education. So now I and the grandmasters from my team can see how every coach is working, how every kid is developing, because in our online platform we have special tests which show us how the chess skills of the students are developed. And for now, we have online lessons, group and individual. We have exercises, homework, which our students are doing in our online platform. And I'm very excited about this. I really want to make a system in which every student understands what he can get. For example, 1 year you training, what will you learn, how strong you will be in chess, and also to have a feeling that every grandmaster is a strong grandmaster, is quite close to your training, so you can meet him, you can ask him a question. I think this is what was missed for the long period of time. So young players, talented players, didn't have a chance to get secrets from the top players, because top players usually focused on themselves. And the idea of my academy to give this connection, and to make, because of that, the chess education with much more quality, much more interesting. And I think it's solving also a very important question is what is a chess professional? This is very difficult question for the young players, because, for example, okay, in football or in ice hockey, you get in the team, you get a good salary, you become a star, and this is quite clear. But for the chess, it's not really clear what is the chess professional. What is it? What kind of profession is it? And I think such a connection, me, my team of Grandmaster with a student can give also a lot of answers on this question and to show what is the way how to become a professional player, how to become a good coach. Yes, and so I'm very excited about this project now. Actually, I'm also don't think that I will play much when the Leaf tournaments will come back on a very important event, because this is also very important project for me.
And obviously, you've been keeping really quite busy throughout the pandemic with this project, but also doing some webinars as well. Like, how has that helped you as well throughout the past couple of months?
First, as a strong players, many things you already doing on without really thinking about this. You just know how to do it, and you don't care about that, let's say. But when you need to explain what is it, you need to go much deeper, because you need to analyze the process, what are you doing, and to see every detail of it, and then to show how to make it correctly. For example, I'm very glad about one of the topic we had is assessment of the position in chess. I think this is very difficult skill, very hard to develop, and probably the most important to on the top level, because of course top players easy can calculate, know very well openings, but assessment is always a difficult part to make. I think we made a very good job on that. So now we are even starting players already start to train their assessment, and what I see the results, I'm quite glad about that. Well, of course, we are still young academy, so I very much waiting for the results of our students to see it. So one of my students will play now in World Cadets and FIDE this online event. This is first big event for our students, so I hope we will have a good news from that event.
And Ernesto is an unusual name for USSR. Is it really in honor of the Cuban revolutionary Ernesto Che Guevara?
Yes, I got the name in honor of Che Guevara, and this is. I get a question. How do you live in Russia with such a name? Is it? I would say that despite it's not a Russian name or a Soviet name, you can say it's because the name is quite sound, and the people easily remember it. It's not sound unusual for the Russian the Russians. So I feel very good about these names, and I actually was quite surprised when I find out that Che Guevara loved chess a lot. That actually there is a famous event memorial of Capablanca, which is going in Havana every year, and I think it was already more than 50 editions. And the first event was actually organized by Che Guevara. Yes, and there is a lot of chess activities what he made when he was in his prime in Cuba. So this was a really interesting connection to me.
And has it affected your character? Because remembering your game at Bundesliga in 2016 against Peter Svidler, and how you tore him in the Spanish opening, you literally out of the blue went into an attack on the king, and which was really unexpected for your opponent. And as a result, White won on the 26th move, and you very often have an attacking style.
Well, I don't know how name is important in this, but this is absolutely true that my games shows my character. I really like to. I would say that in chess I'm more sportsman. I always searching for the conflict in chess, some activity, some possibility, and this is really through my style, through how I feel the chess should be played, because. There is two opponents, one have to win, one have to lose, and it's even, let's say if we compare the players out of the board, we are all usually quite nice, intelligent person, which is nice to talk and so on. But when we play chess, it's already no need, to hide what is your real goal. You want to win. And I think such a style is the most attractive and interesting for me also.
And what game do you consider the most interesting and significant in your career?
It's I don't really can make one game, but I can name two tournaments, which is absolutely clearly my let's say one of the best memories I have from the chess point. This is of course European Individual 2016 when I won, and I remember it's not only because of the title, because of the level of chess I was showing there. It was close to 2900 of performance, and it was really deserved. The way I played the tournament, it was very good, and it was also Moscow Open, I think in 2015. When I took 8 points out of 9 with a very strong field with Jan Nepomniachtchi, he was playing there, and we had encounter between each other, which I won. It was also very good chess tournament. I think most of the games from that event is very interesting to see and to check.
And since during European Championship, it was the game against David Navarro?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was crushing games. Yes, very memorable.
And you are the co-organizer of the Concord Tower Festival, which since 2016 has been annually holding the Adi Ahmad Sport Club in Ingushetia, and you are involved in development of chess in Ingushetia. And chess lessons have been introduced in all schools of the Republic. And in one of your interviews, you said that our task is to turn Ingushetia into a hot chess sport. Why this region, and did you manage it?
Well, I was. My family is originally from Caucasus, from Ingushetia. My nationality is my father is Ingush. So it was a long story how we came to Asia, to Kyrgyzstan. It was a lot of people was punished after the Second World War, and it's actually a big drama for all that territory. And later it is happened very unusual thing that in this small region there was a person. His name is Alekhan Kharsiev, who actually just built the club, this sport club, and make a present for the territory. So present this building, and on the first level of the club is wrestling, and the level of this the wrestler who's trained there is absolutely top. So there is a Olympic medalist, world champions who's trained there on the first level, and the second level is a chess club. And Alekhan is very passionate to chess. He likes chess a lot, and he plays a lot. And when we meet each other, so we started to share ideas what can be done in this region to arrange. To show all the people how to play chess and how can it be good for the kids to develop, because this is actually the key thing. Now it's already quite a modern situation when everybody talking about soft skills, that it should be developed, that it is more important than hard skills, so-called. And the chess is, I think, very good thing to learn the big part of the soft skills and to make it in the very early ages. So at 5, at 6, at 7 already, kid already can know how to make decision, responsibility for his decision, focus on the task, to fight against a person without hitting him, let's say. So what we got as an idea is a chess in school program, because of all these ideas, and also this big festival. Also, I was a president of a chess federation of this region for 2 years, and of course this project could be made only with support of Russian Chess Federation. This was very big part for what they done for the region. They it was not only the presence of chess sets and all these material things, which for when it's more than 100 school, which is quite important, but also I think the experience which they have, because Russian Chess Federation doing a lot of to promote, to make a chess in school, and this experience, of course, was very important. The Russian Chess Federation fund Timchenko, charity fund of the Timchenko, which really promoting chess very much. So what can I say now? First, I have very good feeling to come into Ingushetia because of chess. Many people is really interested in chess. They follow in events. They know quite a lot. So it become very interesting to come in there. For example, in compare with the neighbor regions, their story is different. So chess is not so much as in Ingushetia now. And also, I really glad that now there is a chess in every school in Ingushetia, and I really have friends who telling me that, for example, his son is coming from the school and beating him in playing chess. So this is really nice to see, and I hope to see the results of development of the region in generally, to see more and more intelligent people from there after maybe 10 or 15 years after chess is started in the school. I hope to see a life-changing results in this region.
And obviously you mentioned earlier on already as well that you took part in this one tournament earlier on this year, obviously, which was contributing towards fighting the COVID pandemic as well. So where obviously Russian grandmasters raised over 24 million Russian rubles. And obviously some of those funds were used to purchase medical supplies and for hospitals in 10 different regions, obviously including Ingushetia as well. And obviously the goal was to draw the attention to the doctors on the forefront and on the front line of the defending. But like, what was the motivation? Why did you decide that was something you wanted to be part of?
It was not really difficult to decide, because it was a situation when a lot of bad not a lot, but this pandemic has happened, and many problems suddenly came, and we could see that it was very difficult to solve the problems which come. So I have a feeling that not only me, other chess players which took part, they wanted to contribute, they were doing something, but when the idea came to make it to join our ideas, to join our possibilities, and it was clear that we should do it. Also, it was a situation when we hoped that we will draw attention to the problem, because there was no sportive events at that moment in Russia. So the chess online was like a possibility for the people to watch a sport event, really competitive, and this is what we were hoping for. And I would say that I was glad that the tournament was showed on TV. I know that many people, some of my friends, decided to contribute to make their step to support the project, to support the doctors. And I'm very glad that now the situation is more or less better. But at that moment, every single ruble was very important, and especially for the regions, because the key idea of the event was to support the regions, and I think this was quite important.
And I know that you dedicate a lot of time to physical training, and you even have the first dan in Aikido. Can you please tell us more about it? And besides it, how do you keep fit?
I think that for the player, for the chess player, it's very important to be fit. Our tournaments is quite long, so sometimes, usually it's 9 games, sometimes it can be longer, and even one game when it's long time control, it can be 7-8 hours in a row, and this is not like you sitting and drinking tea or coffee. It's very intense working because any minute is important. So to be physically fit is very important for the player. So the question was what to do. I would like even to mention that in the last time, I think in top 100 there is very few players who is smoking. For example, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there was a players, and I think quite a lot who were smoking. Now it's not, because it's just not possible. If you're not fit, you cannot compete. It's like a rule. For me, Aikido was a very good moment and story. Actually, I got advice to try some some mutual art from Dvoretsky first. This was his idea when I was 17 years old. And I tried at that moment. I was training about 1 hour, but I was unlucky because I missed all the exams which we have in Aikido, so I didn't grow, actually didn't get any belt. And after 1 year, I already moved from Elista to Moscow, so somehow I stopped to train at that moment. And later I came already when I was living in Moscow, and I have a fantastic experience about that. First of all, because I had a very good coach who was motivated very much in helping me to get this first done. This was very important because I was still traveling for the tournaments, and you know, it was like I come in from the tournament and trained every day in Aikido because I need to be fit. I need to get all these trainings well enough. And after, I think it took about 3 years to get the first done of trainings. And I want to tell that it was also in 2016. So it was like in April, I got the first done. And then in about 3 and 4 months, I got 60 points of Ella, getting this European title. So I'm absolutely sure that this was part of that successful year for me. Now,
oh, that's good. Yes.
Yes. Later, I decided to take a break from Aikido because the way for the second dan takes more time, and it's already an absolutely different level of training required. And I wanted to pay more attention to my physical condition, so I switched to swimming, and now I'm more let's say doing fitness, going to gym and running, so more like this.
Perfect. Well, talking about sort of, you know, fitness and keeping up, why don't we have a quick look at some of the games? I know we've had one game already that's been decisive, but if we maybe actually look at board 4, which is obviously of the Russia versus Poland game, where we have Anna Stolarczyk versus Dennis Palin. So they are sort of, obviously Anna is playing white, Dennis is playing black. Are you able to get it up yourself as well, Ernesto?
Yes, just a moment.
Perfect.
I had already board open, but I just need to check.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yes, Anna Stolarczyk against Dennis Palin. Yes, I see.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
So
talk us a bit through what you can see sort of going on there.
Okay. Just start from the move 1 and just keep going. Okay, so they start with a quite quiet opening. Knight f3 and g3 is usually very slow start, but later they moved to Catalan system. This is when white played d4, c4, and then fianchetto the bishop to g2. c5, this is quite a sharp variation. It was for World Championship match Anand against Topalov, where it was very interesting discussion in this line. So this is very concrete. Let's check what happened. I have a feeling that black was not really aware of this variation, because usually black takes on d takes c4 quite early and provoke white to decide what to do with the pawn. So if you look on move 6, black played bishop e7. This is quite passive decision. Okay, so they moved to, but after that they moved to another line, which called Tarrasch defense. So very unusual game. But this system is not very popular now because it's considered like better for white. I think only Daniil Dubov is playing it now sometime in Rapid. And let's see what happened. Yes, h6, bishop e3, move 12. I mean, so at this game, white got a better position quite clear. The problem of this line is that c6 and d5 pawn is long-term weak, and that's why whites enjoy this slight advantage. But unusual change happened on move 15 when they got the opposite color bishop, what became very sharp for both sides, because now white king was unsafe for the long time. So let's go quickly to the end. So this opposite color bishop is supposed to be very sharp at some moment, especially that white king is a bit weakened. So yes, the game continues in such situation. Bishop on d6 is more or less controlled position, but not for a while. So after Blake's bishop came to d5, I think Blake's position is already seriously better. I think the advantage is very big, maybe just even lost for white. And the only try would be to change everything, to change the queen first of all. But as we can see, white didn't manage to do it. And yes, and the decisive attack is just come, of course, with the Black's. Oops. If you can see the move 40, it seems like Black blundered the queen. After queen f4, white could take it. So it sometimes happened, especially in online event. Yes, and of course, without many pawns, is already no chance for Denis. This is probably Denis, yeah? Denis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is quite important game because with 200 differences, obviously Denis was a favorite. Actually, I'm quite surprised with the first round of today. So it's on 1 point difference. So it was very tough match also.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going to be interesting anyway. I think like everybody will be battling, and I think especially because the Poland versus Russia, they already had the first draw, so every point now will count.
Yes, but how it counts altogether? It's match points, so I mean it's 1-0 for the first, or every half a point is important. So how is it count?
Well, it is almost like every half point to an extent, because obviously, you know, it depends which team wins. So if they win, they get the 2 points. If they draw at the boards, it would be then 1 point, and obviously if they lose, it's 0. So you know, a half, you know, even a draw can still mean, you know, can make a lot of difference. So which is good.
So my question was about that to come to tie break. Poland should win 5.5 against 4.5, or if they win, for example, 6-4, it will be tie break or not? Do you know?
I don't know that on top of my head. I think, like, obviously, they with the final standings, as said, I'm not quite 100% sure. I think they have various tie breaks that they are looking at as well, if need to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this game is finished, and Black won it.
There we go.
Yes.
Perfect. And is there something you would want to sort of say to the obviously to the final teams that are now competing in the end? That's something you'd want to say to them?
I would say, first of all, to enjoy chess. I believe they're all quite happy to play this event, and I think this is very important to keep this passion, to keep this interest to chess, because it's really something special, something amazing. And of course, I want to congratulate both of the team already coming to the final. I understand that they're now thinking only about winning event, but also to be in top 2, of course, it is very good achievement, and I want to congratulate both teams for that.
And Ernesto, thank you very much really for coming to the show here. We really want to thank you for your thorough answers and for spending your time with us. We really appreciate it. And of course, we wish good luck for you and prosperity for your chess academy. Thank you very much.
Polina.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
So we now have another guest joining us today. We're really excited about that. So we now have FIDE Director General Emil Sutkovsky with us. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, Emil. We're really excited to have you on today with us.
Hi, Ulrike. Nice being here.
No, it's really great. So have you been following the tournament at all? Obviously, I know you're probably quite busy, but have you been keeping an eye on what's been going on over the last sort of week and a half?
Obviously, I know most important stats, and I know who are the finalists. But what's more important for me is that this tournament has been a success in terms of involvement and engagement of people. That's the biggest ever event with for people with disabilities, and I think not only the quantity but also quality of the game has been quite high. And what is important also that people like it, and we get quite a positive feedback from all over the place, and I'm really happy to have it.
And I mean, how did FIDE come up with the idea to make a separate tournament for people with disabilities?
In general, this idea was raised and confirmed already as a serious plan back in 2019. And I remember discussing it with Nigel Short during the presidential board in Astana. And actually everybody in FIDE liked it. The only problem was to find actually support, a financial resource to make it happen. But we firmly believe that it's the right way to go, and Untitled Chapter, which was firmly behind this idea. And although it was not easy, we managed to secure necessary funding for the Olympiad 2020, which was postponed, but still we funded. And of course, when the pandemic started, we saw it as an opportunity also to go and support players with disabilities, because actually one of the restrictions they had that for them it's much more difficult to travel. And now they could participate in an event like that without traveling. And I'd like to mention, probably mentioned it many times during your broadcast, but this is already a third big event we're having this year within 3 months or something like that. And for us, it's more than just a tournament or event or nice project. It's a broader approach to social project like that, because we feel that chess constitutes an important part of life for many people, especially with disabilities. And I personally, as a player, as a professional player in very recent past, remember very well my games against players with disabilities who are not only like having desire to play, love the game and so on, but they actually are very good players. And I suffered more than one defeat in these games. And I remember the games during Olympiads, I remember some games in a tournament, and I know how important it is. And I only found it very logical that FIDE, in our attempt in general to be more and more involved in social projects, paid a lot of attention to events for people with disabilities.
And how would you like this to continue? What would you like to see the next steps to be for chess for players with disabilities?
We obviously going to continue that, not only on the basis of staging big events, and we will have a Paralympiads next to the regular Olympiad, whether it would be next year or 2022. Depending on pandemic, but not only that. I mean, we try to engage more and more people, and not for nothing, let's say our budget for next year activities for disabled has been actually increased twofold. Mm-hmm. And that's in spite that in general, the budget of FIDE remains more or less the same, but we found it very important to focus and to contribute more and more on this specific field. And we will be more in touch with international organizations. I can tell you that previously we have been pretty much organizing everything on our own with very limited participation of Paralympics Committee, whether international body or national bodies. We will do it more. We will work also in cooperation with federations like IPC, ABC, and so on. So for us, it it is not only a duty, I just feel that it's something that many people in FIDE management feel as simply a right thing to do. It's not like we have to, but we feel very good about doing it, so, because it really addresses people for whom chess constitutes a major part.
And can you tell us, please, how does FIDE plan to solve the cheating problem, which is the more pressing for chess professionals?
Well, that's a bigger issue. Of course, it's not only for the events with disabled. It's a very big issue, and here we have to divide basically to several branches, because let's say we know today that there are millions of people who play chess online every day. 99% of them, should they wish to cheat, and of course they would not, because the number of cheaters is relatively low, even uncomparable to doping with in other sports. So, but should somebody wish to cheat on let's say level of an average player who plays online, a club player, amateur player, or even an expert level, our algorithms today are strong enough to detect it very, very clearly. Maybe not after first game, but after the second game or so. I mean, it's very distinguishable, and it should be clear to everyone. There is no wonders. There is no I play the game of my life, because it can happen in one game, but it can happen throughout your tournament. If you are, let's say, 1,200 player, you cannot perform a 3,000 player game after game. So for the biggest number of players who actually are in this rating bands of 1,500 or 1,200 or even 1,800, that would not be a problem to detect it, because our algorithms, which have been ever improving, and they are double checking and so on, that would not be a problem. Problem starts somewhere on a higher level, I would say, definitely starting from 2,400 and up. And there, of course, we have various methods to tackle it. And of course, that's why any official high-level events should be conveyed only with proper monitoring. We now tackle a new system, which we will try to adopt it already on the General Assembly, which started today, actually. So-called hybrid chess, where participants would arrive to the club or federation and play official tournament from there. We had an official request even from coming from Oceania zone, because they have a qualifier where players would usually travel, like fly 5 or 6 hours to get together, you know, because the distances are big, but this one zone. And now during the pandemic, it's very difficult because the travel is restricted. Many countries require quarantine and so on. So we will try something of the kind with the observation. They would be in present. It would not be totally online. It would be hybrid. But that is more about, let's say, high level, as I mentioned, let's say 2,400 and up. If we talk about players with somewhere in between, which falls for actually most of players in this competition, who are not just ordinary players who came and started to play their players on a good level, but they're still usually not a grandmaster level, with several exceptions. So for that, we are also devising rules for online chess. And in this very tournament, yes, you know, we actually employ about 100 people who would help players, who would help them to play, but also those who would be judges, arbiters, and so on. So we try to strike balance between, let's say, relying on people's common sense and not expecting them to cheat, but still preventing it. And as a final and important detail, we are going to tighten punishments for cheating online that would in a way discourage those who consider it as an option. But all in all, it is an eternal problem where to start and how to stop it. Being too, you know, let's say, acting in a situation where you are not entirely sure may also cause a lot of witch hunting, which we do not want to happen. So we try to be very, very convinced about any sanction would be taken. But once taken, that means that we are sure about that and we're ready to stand behind it, and we will not be scared of any possible lawsuits, which sometimes we get a letter like I will see you. If the decision is taken, that means that we would be ready to stand behind it.
Yeah. And like, and how else has sort of chess been impacted through this pandemic, or like how are you sort of changing, or like how do you expect chess to change and adapt over the next couple of years?
Well, that still remains a question. We don't know what will eventually happen even next year. It can possibly happen that the pandemic fizzles away. I mean, it's in a large way. It may remain somewhere, but that's one of the scenario. We are prepared for both of them. Either we go with more of hybrid events, like I mentioned. That's why we developed these rules and regulations. Or we hopefully return to a regular life scenario. But pandemic was not necessarily a bad thing for chess. So many people have joined it during pandemic because they stayed at home, they rediscovered or discovered chess for them, for their kids. And the recent success of Queen's Gambit was very instrumental in raising the popularity, and we get a lot of inquiries from every single major outlet who would be willing to write something about this phenomena. And looking forward towards the World Championship match, which is set to take place next year, exactly in 1 year's time, it also contributes to its promotion. So I would, I'm unhappy to see that we cannot stage our traditional events like we planned, and of course not having Olympiad or having World Senior Championship is not something we are pleased about, but we are constantly adapting to the situation. We had a short-term scenario plan, which we executed immediately. If you remember, at the end of March, things started closing down, but already in April, we announced the first big event we had online. It was Online Nations Cup, which we conducted together with chess.com. And then we continued with major women's event series. And then there were 2 tournaments for disabled. And then there were a couple of tournaments for juniors. And then it was online Olympiad, which was a major thing in August. And then we started with Olympiad for disabled, and now the World Youth and Cadet Rapid Championship. So we are adapting ourselves. It's not easy. We have to change not only our usual proceedings, but also to change our partners, because now we have to work more and more with platforms, with online community, to present chess in different time controls, because playing classical chess online never happens basically, and it probably won't be followed. But we are ready. I think we are rather young and versatile team in the FIDE management, so we are ready to make the challenge.
And I have a question of a personal matter. I know that besides chess, you are serious about classic music and classical singing, as you have an amazing bass baritone voice, and you play the sports-oriented version of the game What, When, Where, and you are the founder and captain of the team of chess players who has successfully performed in the competition. So besides chess, what hobbies do you have else?
Well, you've just listed a couple of them, right? Well, indeed, I was studying classical thinking, but it was a long time ago. No more time for that for the last decade already. Well, I used to read a lot. Nowadays, I more write than I read. Recently, I penned a few dozens of essays about the top players of 19th and 20th century. Of course, I'm very much devoted to everything related to my work, and I readjust myself to all the new challenges of it. And I'm keen to do any sports, basically, not to watch, but play, surely. I mean, now it's a bit limited due to pandemic, but otherwise, I'm doing this. And as for other little pleasures like going to museum or to concert or something, it's a bit difficult. It's like past life, The last time I was, it was in February, but it feels like it was ages ago.
Yeah. And one last question, because we've had some really interesting answers on that. If you could be a chess piece, which piece would you be?
Wow. No, I would not be excited about this perspective, to be moved by someone here and there. No, it would be a bad dream. It
Fair
sounds
enough.
like Black Mirror scenario, No, I'm not into that.
That's perfectly fine. So we had some really interesting answers. So, we like to think, but I understand your scenario as well. And your sort of, it's, because it is, I think it's quite an intriguing thought to just, be a piece somewhere. But no, that's great.
No, I'm pretty happy with my independence as this part of my life. So.
No. Thank you so much, Emil, for coming on. We really appreciate you taking the time out, talking to us a bit, obviously, around sort of how there hopefully will be more tournaments, in bigger numbers for people with players with disabilities. We're really excited, and sort of, I think we all just will have to wait and see what the next year is going to bring. But it sounds like, you guys really have sort of a couple of plans ready to go to execute depending on what's happening. Thank you so much for coming on today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I just, as a final words, I just want to thank everyone who was actually involved in organizing and covering this event. I know it was a massive effort. I'd like to thank our Disabled Commission for FIDE. They made, I think, a great job. I'd like to thank also Akakiashvili, FIDE Vice President, who was in charge with this project, and Thomas Luther and Kema Goreeva and you ladies. It was really, it is still, I think, something memorable for all the participants, but not only to the participants, I guess, to the members of their families, their friends. And I promise that all these social projects are very dear to our hearts, and we will continue this work. Thank you.
Oh, that's really great to hear. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
And to end it, I'd like to say that today we have the first part of the finals of the first FIDE online Olympiad for people with disabilities. Make sure you tune in for tomorrow, as we have got some very exciting games coming up. So the action continues tomorrow. Please tune in. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.